Welcome back to Undercurrent. On this week's Vox Pop, we wanted to hear your thoughts on young people and the news. With many graphic stories and lots of visually disturbing material shared, is it a good idea for kids to even watch the news? Annabelle Panardi reports.
News is a powerful source of education for young people, ensuring that our children are aware of local, national and global events. However, as news becomes more and more negative, with shootings and terror attacks being broadcasted almost weekly, do we really want our young children being exposed to such negative news? Today we're taking to the streets of Perth to hear what the people have to say about the issue. Do you think young children should be watching the news, and why or why not?
I think they should. I think they should be watching news because it's educational and informative and tells them about what's going on in their surroundings. That's my opinion.
My answer would be no. I don't watch the news anymore because there's just so much negativity, and yeah, realistically it does matter what's going on in the world, but I just find, you can still follow news by other means.
Young being, say, 13 and below, probably not. I mean, I grew up not watching the news 13 and below, and I grew out fine.
I've got a 10-year-old son now. So I'm at that stage where we have to decide, yes, whether he should watch the news or not. At this stage, we let him watch the news. We think the awareness is important. And whether it makes sense to him or not, I'm not sure. But he's very well aware of Donald Trump. It's part of his, funny characters. But the rest of it, listen, the news have become so common, and sadness and murders and all the bad things happen so often nowadays. I think the children think it's like a movie. I don't think they think it's real. Is there a certain age that you think children should be watching the news? Do you accept 4-year-olds watching what's happening in America?
No, they should be watching the Wiggles. I reckon, 10 to 12.
Around the 10 mark, so as they're starting to get into at school, when they're trying to find more about the world and studying different aspects of the world, then getting that wider knowledge and getting that little bit of head start, I guess.
In regards to parents that are very protective over their children and would prefer them not to see negative news, do you think there is a consequence for actually not showing them the truths of the world? What do you think the repercussions will be as they grow up of not actually being allowed, I guess, to view the news?
I think that'd be totally useless to do that, because they'd be growing up in a world that is not real. And there's enough problems it is, from all the social media, where they grow up and they don't face reality. If you take them away from the reality of news on top of that, then those people will not fit into society whatsoever. It's game over for them.
I can completely understand the viewpoint. I know with my 3 boys, I definitely want to protect them as much as I can. But at the end of the day, the world is what it is, and we're bringing our kids up in this world, and they need to have at least some knowledge of what's out there so that they can see what people can do in such misery and poor circumstances, and see what good can come from it.
What are your views on teachers actually encouraging their students to watch the news as part of, their school curriculum? Do you think it's their role or actually the parents' role to do that?
Oh, I mean, it depends on what they're presenting in the news, obviously. But if they're telling the kids just to go home and watch the news abroad, just in general, then probably not. But if it's something like they're filtering the news and bringing it to class, so it's PG news kind of thing, then yeah, maybe. It'll be kind of no different to when kids say read the newspaper.
A bit of both. I think it's important for the first bit of encouragement to come from the parents, and they can almost watch it together as a family at home and learn, and then from there it's up to for the teachers to be able to reinforce those learnings in the classroom without pushing any content onto the students that perhaps shouldn't be.
I think encouragement from teachers is definitely a good start. Mum and dad can say what they want, but kids, I know mine, definitely don't listen all the time, and that extra push from the teacher definitely can help.
Thank you for watching. I'm Annabelle Panardi reporting for Undercurrent.
The Banff Mountain Film Festival is in Perth this week, screening a number of short films, motion pictures and documentaries about mountain culture, sports and environment. WTV reporter Laura was there to learn more.
The Banff Mountain Film Festival takes place annually in the town of Banff, Canada. This iconic festival features over 300 of the world's most exhilarating and captivating footage. The footage is about exploration, culture and scenery and is sure to leave you on the edge. I'm here with Tamara Campbell, who's here in Perth hosting the Banff Film Festival. Tamara, can you tell us a little bit about the Banff Mountain Film Festival?
So the festival, it's a collection of films that are predominantly based in the outdoors. The festival comes from Canada, from Banff. It is a collection of films that celebrate outdoors, adventure, exploration and various different cultures. So it is a predominantly short films with a few feature-length films that are about 30 to 40 minutes. Otherwise, it's just a whole bunch of shorts to get people interested in the outdoors.
And what do some of the conditions that the artists have to go through to get this footage?
Oh, they vary. So if it's a solo expedition that someone's recording, it means they would have to do it twice. Once to record themselves and then also to go back and get the camera and do that bit again to keep walking. If it's a group expedition and you're kind of out in the freezing cold Arctic region, you've got to then think about keeping all your gear warm.
So Tamara, what is the history of the Banff Film Festival and where did it all begin?
I believe in about 1976 was the first Banff Mountain Film Festival. Two guys went on a trip and they took some beautiful footage and cut it into a film. And then at Banff they have an arts centre which has a film school attached. So they were students there and they kind of put on a little film night and said, hey, come along and watch our film. And they had a few hundred people turn up and they thought, why don't we get our other friends who go on adventures to put some films together as well and we can make it a bit of a night. And it's kind of grown from there and now it is the biggest and most prestigious mountain film festival in the world.
Can you tell me about what kind of crowd it draws?
It draws a whole variety of people. So you've got your armchair adventurers and you've got your actual outdoor adventurers, but they are equally as interested in what is showing on screen, whether it's from an inspiration perspective or getting ideas for their next trip.
And how do the films actually get judged to take the best on this 35 country sort of trip?
I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that the films that get chosen to go on the world tour, they're looking for something with heart, something that'll really touch the audiences and be able to appeal to a wide variety of people because that's who come. We sell out most venues we go to. So for instance, here in Perth, we're in the State Theatre Centre of Western Australia, which holds just over 500 people, and we sell out screenings here every time we come.
Wow, so it's an annual thing. You'll be coming back to Perth next year?
Yes, it's an annual thing. We will come back next May. We host a whole bunch of other adventure or outdoor festivals. I guess they're kind of the little brother or sister festivals to the Banff Mountain Film Festival. So we come back in July and then November and March and May, and we kind of have a rotation where you'll see us here every couple of months with a new festival and new films to show you.
So are there any standout artists that you can describe this year?
Yes, the first is a film from Tasmania. It's called Winter on the Blade, and it's awesome just because, well, one, it's Aussie, and it's cool to get Aussies on the big screen and touring the world, showing such a stunning part of Australia. And the second one that I think is stunning is a film from Nepal. It's called Loved by All. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful, and it gives a really harsh, it's quite a hard reality that Sherpas have to live, and it gives you a good idea of kind of what goes on, again, behind the scenes in the lives of a Sherpa, but in the most beautiful, beautiful way. The great thing about Banff is that it's been going for so long and has built up such a supportive and inclusive network of people who are either submitting films or just coming along to watch it. There's always such a good vibe, and like I mentioned previously, it is the most prestigious mountain film festival. It's kind of the one that everyone wants to be in, and so it's really cool to be able to watch and sit in and watch these films.
So there you have it. Don't forget to get your tickets for next year's Banff Mountain Film Festival. This has been Laura for Undercurrent.
Thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of Undercurrent. That's all we have time for, but we'll be back next week with more Perth stories. Take care. I'm Deanna Cooney. I'll see you then.